on this 2010 to 2017 Honda Accord with the 2. For gas engine, U0131 means the gauge control module may have lost communication with the EPS unit. The vehicle may show warning indicators, steering-related messages, or other network-related behavior, depending on what modules are still talking. Before chasing this one code, look at the whole scan. If there are loss of communication codes for the PCM, handle those first. And if there are multiple network codes, follow the proper beacon multiple code diagnostic path before committing to this single code test. For U0131 by itself, the path is straightforward. Prove the code is current. Check the EPS power feed fuse, then check ignition power, ground, and the FCAN wires between the EPS control unit and the gauge control module. Start by clearing the DTCs with the HDS. Turn the ignition switch to lock 0, then back to on Roman 2. If the vehicle uses the engine start/stop button, select OFF mode, then on mode. After that, wait for at least 6 seconds and check for DTCs again with the HDS. If U0131 comes right back, continue to the fuse check. If U0131 does not return, treat it as an intermittent failure for now. The system is okay at this time, so concentrate on loose terminals, poor connector fit, and connection issues that may only show up with movement or vibration. Next, check fuse No. B10-7-5A in the under-dash fuse/relay box. If the fuse is okay, move on to the ignition feed test at the EPS control unit. If the fuse is not okay, replace the fuse. If it blows again, repair a short to ground in the No. B10-7-5A fuse circuit before going any farther. Now check for an open in the IG1 VSA/ABS line. Turn the ignition switch to lock 0 or select OFF mode. Disconnect EPS control unit connector A, the 11-pin connector. Then turn the ignition switch to on Roman 2 or select on mode. Measure voltage between EPS control unit connector a terminal No. 9, the yellow wire and body ground. You are looking for battery voltage on that circuit. If battery voltage is present, the IG1 VSA/ABS wire is okay, so continue to the ground check. If battery voltage is not present, repair an open or high resistance in that wire. With EPS control unit connector still disconnected, turn the ignition switch back to lock 0 or select OFF mode. Check continuity between EPS control unit connector a terminal No. 1, the black wire and body ground. If there is continuity, the ground wire is okay and you can move on to the FCAN wiring. If there is no continuity, repair an open or high resistance in the ground wire or a poor ground at G402. Next, check for an open in the FCAN lines. Turn the ignition switch to lock 0 or select OFF mode. Disconnect gauge control module connector A, the 32-pin connector. With EPS control unit connector still disconnected, check continuity in both network wires. For FCAN H, check from gauge control module connector a terminal No. 19, the white wire, to EPS control unit connector a terminal No. 10, also the white wire. For FCAN-L, check from gauge control module connector a terminal No. 20, the red wire, to EPS control unit connector a terminal No. 11, also the red wire. If both wires have continuity, the FCAN wires are okay, and the next repair call is to replace the gauge control module. If continuity is missing, the fault is an open or poor connection in the FCAN wiring between the EPS control unit and the gauge control module. The key with U0131 is not to jump straight at the module. Confirm the code is current. Make sure the EPS unit has its fuse-protected ignition feed and ground. Then prove the 2 FCAN wires are intact between the EPS unit and the gauge control module. Once the wiring path checks out, the diagnostic path supports the gauge control module call. For more diagnostic training, visit stepdiagnostics.com.